Hello, everyone. This is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is a Q&A episode. So let's actually get started, shall we? So, Benjamin, you got some questions for me. So you got some questions about Appalachiosaurus. So I'll actually answer those first, and then you got a couple more after that. And so, so our first question: did Appalachiosaurus and Tryptosaurus live at the same time? No, they did not. Appalachiosaurus is 10 million years older than Tryptosaurus, and so these two dinosaurs are from the east coast of the United States, and so they're actually from the eastern part of the United States. It's where their fossils are found. Dryptosaurus is fragmentary fossils, and of course, that's the same thing with Appalachiosaurus. We don't have complete skeletons of these animals, and so we actually just have fragments. But they are part of that type of Tyrannosaur type of family that they are part of. And so Dryptosaurus is a little bit more closer towards the end of the Cretaceous, whereas Appalachiosaurus was actually 10 million years older. So you take 65 minus 10, and then or 65 plus 10, I should say. 65 plus 10. 65 plus 10, and then you get to 77. That's the last time in terms of when Appalachiosaurus was actually around in the United States in terms of the Mesozoic era in the Cretaceous. And so Appalachiosaurus also lived a little bit longer than Dryptosaurus, and so that's what you actually have there, is that Dryptosaurus and Appalachiosaurus did not live at the same time. They're just 10 million years apart. Who would you think would win, Appalachiosaurus or Acrosaurus? Acrosaurus is that Appalachiosaurus that I did talk about in a previous special episode. So if you guys want to check out the Acrosaurus special episode, go check that out. It's actually in the specials playlist, so you can actually go check that out. And so it's an Appalachiosaurus from South America, and Appalachiosaurus and Acrosaurus are pretty much going to be the same size. They're pretty much going to be the same size in terms of length and a little bit towards height and all that. And so they're actually going to be pretty similar in terms of size. But overall, I would actually say that Appalachiosaurus would probably take this because one is that Appalachiosaurus has got a little bit more agility. It has more agility, and also it's got the power as well. And so I would probably say Appalachiosaurus will more likely win this one because Allosaurus might get in a couple of bites, but the thing is that Tyrannosaur bite strength is actually going to overall win this one, and also overall senses, the sight and smell, those sorts of things. The agility is going to be a factor here too because Tyrannosaurs are more agile or a tad bit more agile than the Appalachiosaurus, but Appalachiosaurus is still pretty quick no matter what. It's just that Allosaurus is not as, speedy as, say, Carnotaurus. And so that would actually determine that, too. So I'm going Appalachiosaurus with that one. And Appalachiosaurus versus Fukiraptor, I would still say Appalachiosaurus on this one. Because I think Fukiraptor is just slightly smaller than Appalachiosaurus. I'm pretty sure about that one, and I think Appalachiosaurus is going to take that. What part of the Tyrannosaur family does Appalachiosaurus belong to? Tyrannosauria, and so that's where it belongs. Tyrannosauria. That also includes Dryptosaurus, Nanotyrannus, those types of dinosaurs. These are like Tyrannosaurs that are cousins of Tyrannosaurs, but they're just basically part of the Tyrannosaur family tree. It's just that they're slightly different. These are a little bit more on the primitive side of Tyrannosaurs, like they're a bit smaller, and of course they actually have speed. They have speed on their side as well, and so these would be the very fast Tyrannosaurs, and so that's where Appalachiosaurus belongs in, and that's where you're going to find Appalachiosaurus in the Tyrannosauria type of family tree of Tyrannosaurs. And your last Appalachiosaurus question: does Appalachiosaurus have short arms with two-fingered hands? It's leaning towards that now because the previous hypotheses about what the body design of Appalachiosaurus probably looked like was that it would still have a big skull, long legs that are typical of Tyrannosaurs, premaxillary teeth that are D-shaped and cross-section, and of course other traits in terms of the skull and some of the vertebrae that would resemble Tyrannosaurs are pretty much going to be there. It's just that for a while, the old hypothesis was that it had longer arms. It had long arms with 3-fingered hands. But that's not but that's no longer the case anymore. It's looking more and more like the Appalachiosaurus did have short arms with 2-fingered hands. And so that's what it's leaning towards. But there still needs to be more evidence to actually support this. But it is leaning towards that, because when you look at the shoulder joint of where the humerus connects to the shoulder blade on Appalachiosaurus, it does not fit for a long-armed animal. It actually fits for a short-armed animal. And so the short arms are definitely going to be coming into play with this one. And so there is some research being done on Appalachiosaurus, and so hopefully more fossil material is out there and it's being studied, and hopefully that we can find out more about Tyrannosauria, because it's very poorly understood amongst paleontology and especially in Tyrannosaur evolution. And so hopefully that we do get more understanding of the Tyrannosauria along with Appalachiosaurus. So hopefully we can actually find more fossil material of Appalachiosaurus. Then your other questions, Eleoramus and Appalachiosaurus. Could Tylosaurus survive in the Pacific Ocean? Possibly. Because if you actually kind of think about it in terms of Jurassic World, the Colin Trevorrow trilogy, is that it probably could be the case. But the thing is that it's not going to survive for very long, because one, there is some sort of animal. There's some animals that they just could not go after, like mainly the really large whales. The really large whales are just too big for Tylosaurus to be able to handle, and also some of the prey species that would actually be going after is a bit smaller, and so it probably would starve to death more likely. And also the prey is a lot faster. And all that sorts of stuff. The best way for Tylosaurus to be able to survive is if it shrank. If it shrank to say maybe 35 feet or otherwise even 30 feet, probably would actually have a chance. But the thing is, the really large Tylosaurus that it can be over 40 feet would not survive in today's world. It would definitely starve to death because a lot of the prey species are just way faster than it could actually do. What could actually catch. And is Bistahieversor a primitive tyrannosaur? Even though you had a little typo in that question, it said primate. Tyrannosaurs are not primates. You're probably meaning primitive tyrannosaur. In a ways, yes. Bistahieversor is considered to be a little bit more on the primitive side of tyrannosaurs in terms of its overall body design, because it is built to be somewhat fast, but also very strong. And so that's what it's built to be. And it's looking more like it's actually into the Teratophonae type of clade in terms of tyrannosaurs. That's where Bistahieversor is looking more and more like. And so that's where we are actually fitting Bistahieversor is in the Teratophonae or Teratophonae type of family of Tyrannosaurs. That's where we're going. That's where it's leaning towards for Bistahieversor. All right, Luke Zilla, your questions. Were dromaeosaurids capable of mimic sounds? For example, to lure their prey closer towards them. I think that's a possibility. Mimicry is definitely in play for dromaeosaurs. Dromaeosaurs can probably do that. Even the troodontids, they could probably do that too, to mimic the sounds of the prey that they're going after. and basically to lure them in so that way it can get that the prey can get closer. Mainly the juveniles, mainly juvenile animals. And so because that's what dromaeosaurs were more likely to try to do. Even smaller animals, like say some small reptiles, some mammals, those sorts of things, dromaeosaurs can actually do that. They can definitely mimic those sounds of the prey it's going after. Definitely, I think that's definitely in play. Definitely in play for it to do that. That's a possibility. And then your other question, what, in your opinion, the most terrifying hybrids within the Jurassic World franchise? I think the Scorpius Rex and Indoraptor. Those two are definitely up there. I think Scorpius Rex is definitely one of them because it's just really gnarly looking, like it's like a Frankenstein type of dinosaur. Indoraptor is kind of almost the same way. It just looks like a miniaturized version of the Indominus Rex. Like the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor and Scorpius Rex, those are actually pretty terrifying hybrid dinosaurs. But I would say, like, yeah, I agree with you. The Scorpius Rex is definitely up there. It is definitely up there. Definitely. And then Alex, your question: what is your favorite museum to go to? That's a good question. The museums that I've been to the most often has been the Field Museum in Chicago, the Science Museum in Minnesota. I've also been to the Milwaukee Public Museum a few times. I've been to the Neville Museum, which is in Green Bay, Wisconsin. What else? I've been to the Black Hills Institute once, and I'm hoping to go back there maybe sometime next year. That's what I'm hoping. But of all of them, I have to go with the Field Museum. The Field Museum is like one of my favorites because like I liked how much it has changed since like the last time I've been there. Because the last time I've been there before 2024, I thought that like the one thing that they could improve upon is in interactivity, like have like interactive stuff for like people to actually do in the museum. Because I know like big museums, they tend to usually more like you're here to be educated. Read the signs, look at the specimens. That's all you got to do. But at least now they actually incorporated some interactivity for like people to actually like take part in the exhibit. Which I like. I really, really like because like you can touch certain types of things, not the really big exhibits, just basically like things on like the signs and all that sorts of stuff. Like I love the interactivity that the Field Museum has done. Science Museum in Minnesota is very interactive. Like I highly recommend you guys go there. It is very highly interactive. You join in with the exhibit and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Like there's like physics stuff. There's like even like meteorology type of stuff that you can do. There's chemistry, biology. That is actually a lot of fun too. Like be participating in, a lot of that stuff is just so much fun to actually do. And I think interactivity should be a must for museums because that way people can learn a lot better. Because it's like you're being part of the exhibit and you can actually just like interact with the exhibit. That's what I like about those interactive stuff. Because like my program, I actually do a lot of interactivity. Like take this Albertosaurus maxilla here. Like people can come up and touch this, and I show them like the features of like the parts of the skull, like these like holes right here for like the nerves and blood vessels would actually be there, and like showcasing like even right here where you can actually kind of see like the ridges here of the teeth, and basically showcasing like in this part right here there's a small tooth that is actually starting to come out right here, that sort of thing. I like doing that because it just showcases like people can interact with the exhibit, and I like that. Like doing that. And like I show them the teeth, I even show them like other parts of dinosaur stuff and other prehistoric creatures. Like it's a lot of fun. And so Field Museum is my favorite one. Second is the Science Museum of Minnesota, but I have tons of museums that I have to go to. I have tons of museums on my list to actually go to. Like there's a few in Canada. There's actually some here in the United States. I would love to go to because those are just like the ones that I need to go see. Like number one on my list is the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. That's my number one that I need to go to at some point. And I would like to visit the Museum of the Rockies. I'd like to visit the Royal Tyrrell Museum, the Royal Ontario Museum, the Phil Currie Museum, the Houston Museum of Science and Nature, Denver Museum of Science and Nature, and Science and Natural History, like all sorts of museums. Like I would love to see a lot of these museums. And so if any of you that actually are nearby a natural history museum, please let me know about like any of these museums because I would love to go check them out. Is there any interactivity with some of these museums? Because I would love to see that. Because I love museums that do that because it just showcases that the people can be part of the exhibit. That is a cool thing, and like my program does that. I involve interactivity with my program, and so yeah, that would be my answer. Is field museums my favorite so far. That's all the questions I got for you today. Next week will be a special episode. I'll let you guys know what kind of prehistoric I'm going to talk about. So stay tuned for that. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochris71@gmail.com, or go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page. Yes, you post your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messengers are private conversations only. So please put your questions in the comment section on any Facebook post. And also for you YouTubers out there, like the videos, subscribe to the channel. According to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel, not subscribed yet. So please feel free to hit that subscribe button. And also hit the like button because that's how the YouTube algorithm works. The more likes the video gets, the more likely the video gets spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general, so please feel free to do so. And also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general, so please feel free to do so. And also hit that bell so that way you can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. And also if you go on my channel and you go on the post tab, I post updates on like videos and also upcoming videos and also some news updates, mainly in the dinosaur paleontology area of things. And also I post polls every 3 days on the channel, so that way you guys can interact and all that. And lately, very unfortunate news that we actually lost the guy that composed the music or made the music for the Walking With series for like Walking with Dinosaurs, Beasts, Chased by Dinosaurs / Sea Monsters, and also Walking with Monsters. Has passed away, Ben Bartlett, and I've been posting polls about Ben Bartlett's music, and asking you guys like what kind of like episodes of some of the series are your favorites in terms of the music, and also go check out the albums that Ben Bartlett recently released like a couple of years ago, of the Walking with Dinosaurs music that included the Allosaurus special on there. The Allosaurus special type of music is in that album, and the Walking with Dinosaurs album, and also the Prehistoric Beasts one is out. Hopefully that we do get like maybe an album that would be released at some point for like say Chased by Dinosaurs, Chased by Sea Monsters, and also Walking with Monsters, because I would love that type of music to be available for everybody to actually see. I know there's YouTube channels that actually just like remove all the audio of like say some of the like animal sounds and all that sorts of stuff, and they just you have the music on, but like I'd rather see an album be put out as well for Chased by Dinosaurs / Sea Monsters, and of course Walking with Monsters. But yeah, rest in peace, Ben Bartlett, and your music is awesome, and fans still remember that music, and hopefully that you do get to like see or at least the family knows that his music has meant a lot to a lot of people. But anyway, yeah. So check out the polls on my channel. And also, for you YouTubers out there, leave your questions in the comments section because I do read them all. All of you guys are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube. You guys are awesome. Give me reads of great questions for these Q&A episodes. So keep up the great work. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Threads, same thing, at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for younger people out there, and it makes you listen. Your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have to have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.